Hey everybody, Captain Algebra here, and welcome to my July pickups of 2018. Once again, I spent too much money. You know, every single month I say I'm not going to spend that much money, but I end up doing it. But next month, actually next couple months, I promise, not going to spend a lot. Okay, I can't. We're going to Nashville in September to see the Titan Eagles game, and I got tickets to that for me and my brother, and those tickets are pretty expensive. So plus obviously having the baby. So yes, no more buying games, but check out what I got after the break. Alright, here we go. Let's start with just some strategy guides, because I gotta pick up strategy guides. They're always fun. We got Metal Gear Solid, one of my favorite PS1 games. Don't need it. I know what I'm doing in that game. Spyro the Dragon, another one of my favorite childhood games. Again, a strategy guide I don't need. I can beat that game with my eyes closed. Not really, but I'm very good at it. I'm very excited for the Reignited trilogy coming out. Already have that pre-ordered. Can't wait to get it. We got Siphon Filter, the Omega Strain. So it's a Siphon Filter game I have not played through yet. And then we got Siphon Filter 2. Another game I haven't played through yet. That's for the strategy guides. And we're actually going to do this a little bit different. We're going to actually go by console. So for the Sega Genesis, first thing, my brother went to a garage sale and he found this big trunk full of a lot of stuff. And included were some empty cases for Genesis games. So no games, but I can get the games loose, and then I'll have these almost complete. I have to get the manual as well. So we've got Sunday NFL Football. That's a game I don't have, so I'll be getting that. Got James Buster Douglas Knockout Boxing, another game I need to pick up. We got Sonic the Hedgehog, which I already have. Mortal Kombat, which I already have. And Sonic the Hedgehog 2, which I already have. So I'll pick up some loose copies for cheap, put them in there, and then I got some trade bait. Nothing great there, but, you know, something interesting. And then the only good Genesis game I picked up was Strider. So this was a game I had been looking for. I know it's basically a port of the arcade game. I think it's done, they did a very good job of it. But I love Strider on the NES and wanted to try this out. So I didn't get gameplay footage of it, I just ran out of time. So, but seems like a fun game so far. Definitely can't wait to get more into it. Next up, staying 16-bit, we're going with the SNES. Another game that was in that crate of stuff that my brother got was Super R-Type. So that's another game I already had, so I can trade that. Then some games I picked up that I didn't have. First of all, we've got Harley's Humongous Adventure. So this was, I think, a hidden gem, probably by Middle Jesus. Those are the ones I usually watch. Maybe it's someone else, can't remember. But Do You Nerd also requested it. For my Request Tuesday live streams. I already had picked it up by then, but they said it's a very fun platform, and I agree. You can get a jetpack and do that. But you're going around, you're very small. I don't know why, I don't really know the story. But you go around different parts of the house. I think the first level was the kitchen, so I didn't get very far. I just played that a little bit. And you got to watch out for plates and these other enemies. One thing I don't like, it's hard to turn around quickly and shoot them, so I end up getting hit quite a bit. But once you get used to that, I think it'd be a pretty fun game. Next up, D-Force, which is a fun helicopter shooter, and like similar shooters, you top-down view, you scroll vertically, you collect power-ups, which increases your firepower and the type of fire that you shoot out. But it's a very fun game. I really enjoyed it. I didn't get very far yet, but like most shooters, it takes a little while to get used to. But definitely recommend that for cheap. And then a game I picked up this weekend, so I haven't even had a chance to test it yet, but it is complete in box. Arkanoid, Do It Again. So Arkanoid was a great arcade game. I also had an NES game, and it's a lot of fun. I haven't tested it yet. It even has the cardboard tray, so I'll be interested to try it out. I don't get many complete box Super Nintendo games, so I was glad to get that. Next, had to get some TurboGrafx 16 games. First one I picked up, Alien Crush, and it does have the dust sleeve as well. So this is a fun pinball game. It was a sequel to Devil's Crush, which is another game I'm looking for, but it's a little more pricey. So I got this on eBay and actually paid probably about 10 bucks less than what it's going for. You know, if you look on eBay, you can find some good bids and then snipe some stuff. So it's a very fun pinball game, pretty easy. The first time I played it, I didn't lose a single ball, and I played for like 45 minutes, and I just had to be done playing it. But I really enjoy it. There's some mini games that you can get into if you go to certain parts of the table. And some of those you have to destroy these like snake-like things, and they keep coming out. And other times there's these other little like bug-looking alien creatures that you can hit. So I think I found 4 different little mini games. I can't quite remember. There might be more, but it's a very fun game. Again, it's just one board. It probably gets bored. You can get bored with it a little bit, but I think it's a fun game. Definitely want to try that two-player little high score challenge. Next game, you've seen me live stream it. That's Dragon Spear. So this was a port of the arcade game. It's basically you go around as a dragon and you get fire power-ups. Every third one you get, it increases your fire power. And you can also get blue power-ups, which increases the amount of heads of your dragons. You get up to 3 heads. But the one downfall of that is not only does it make you shoot more, but it makes you larger. So it's harder to avoid all the stuff that's being shot at you and all the enemies. So that can get frustrating, but it's a very fun game. I wasn't able to beat it on stream. Haven't been able to beat it yet, but it's a lot of fun. I really enjoy it, and I've heard it's a very solid port of the arcade game. So definitely check that out. Again, this is another eBay purchase, probably about $10 to $15 less than what it's going for. So glad to pick that up. And again, it also does have the dust sleeve over the game. Next, we'll go into some handheld games. So I only got like one of some of these systems, so that's why we're going to lump them all together. First one, Orcs and Elves on the DS. So this is actually a dungeon crawler. You go around attacking enemies. Didn't play it much, but it seems a lot of fun. So I can't wait to put more time into that one. Next is actually a pickup from last month that I completely forgot about. And that's Korth on the Game Boy. So I actually got this complete box for 20 bucks on eBay. Couldn't believe that. This was a game that I saw Herbivores talk about. He doing this series about what's on his Game Boy shelf and talk about some of the games. I think he's done 2 episodes. I might be wrong, but he did this and TMNT Fall of the Foot Clan. Both great games. But as soon as I saw this, I had to have it. Basically, it's a puzzle shooter. You have these bricks coming down, and you can shoot at it to fill them up. And the bigger box you make, the more points you get. You can even get some power-ups from it. So I highly recommend it. It's a very fun game. Another game I picked up this weekend, and that is on the PSP, Castlevania, the Dracula X Chronicles. So this one comes with Castlevania Rondo of Blood, which only came out on in Japan. So I was excited to get this, and I see I paid 12 bucks for it. But it's actually going for closer to 20 right now. So this cool game store that I go to when I visit my parents, they do look game prices up before they sell them, but if it's higher than what they've got it marked, they don't mark it up for you. They keep it at whatever was marked, but if it's lower than what they have marked, they actually lower it. So this, so I got a couple games. I think I got Super C. They had it marked $18, got it for 12. So I'm okay with that. So that's really cool that they do that. But this is a game, it's also got Symphony of the Night. Can't wait to play through that. But yeah, as soon as I saw this, I'm like, yep, gotta pick that up, because I gotta play Rondo of Blood. Next, we'll go with some NES games. First, not a game, but I got this from Megadan, and that is Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link Instruction Manual. So he had got me some NES games earlier in the summer. He also had this for me, but he needed it for a video, and so he said he'd get it to me. So last time he came over for Mega Captain Monthly, he sent this over. So excited to have it. I do like collecting manuals, but I'm not going to pay a lot of money for them. It's just kind of cool. I love reading them. I wish games still had manuals. On to the games. Another game that was in the box that my brother got for me, and that is the Super Mario Brothers. So again, that is a game I already have. So that'll also be for trade bait if no one has it. I mean, everyone's got Super Mario Brothers, but a lot of people have like the Super Mario Brothers with Duck Hunt, or Super Mario Brothers with Duck Hunt and World Class Track Meet. So it's kind of cool to get the game all by itself. Then games I picked up today, actually, so I haven't even tested them yet. So we got the Gray Kart version of RBI Baseball. I love RBI Baseball. It is my favorite baseball game on the NES. Picked up Pinbot. And then my favorite NES game pickup, actually from the Famicom. We didn't get it in the States, but JLove81. Shout out to my girl Jen. You're awesome. Thank you so much for this. But she went to too many games, and she asked us if we were looking for anything. So I gave her a couple games, and she picked this up for me, and that is The Goonies. So it's cool. Someone took these, took the ROMs and made NES carts out of them, and if they have any Japanese in them, they do translate to English, which is really cool. So I didn't have a chance to get gameplay of this, but it's a very fun game. Can't wait to get more into it. So again, thank you so much, J-Love. And then also included in that box, the main reason I wanted my brother to pick it up for me, we got a Power Glove. Now it came with the sensors. I don't know if it works or not, but even just having this is awesome. I mean, no one wants to actually play with the Power Glove, but I will test out at some point to see if it works. But that's just kind of a cool thing to have in the collection. Some other things it came with 2 PS1s, an Xbox 360 controller, a PS3. Didn't have the power cords, I haven't tested it yet, but I did pick up a power cord today, so I'll test that soon. But you know what? Even if those things don't work, just getting the Power Glove alone was good enough, and then I also got some of those games. So it made it worth it to me. Next, we'll go with some PS2 games. First one, we got Pinball Hall of Fame, the Gottlieb Collection. So pinball games are pretty cool. I had never spent a lot of time playing pinball. I just never really knew what to do on some of the machines. But I know a lot of people love pinball. But one thing I'm never sure is, how are the physics in pinball games? Just because playing this, it just seemed a little off. Sometimes it felt like, I would hit with the flipper and the ball just wouldn't go that fast where I thought it should have been. But again, I don't know. But it was cheap, so I picked that up. Then I just picked up again this weekend, Sonic Mega Collection Plus. I did have this already, but somehow my game got wet. So there's mold on the cover art. So I wanted to get a new copy of that. So I do have a loose copy of this if anyone isn't interested in that. Next, I saw this game on James and Mike Monday, and as soon as I saw it, I had to have it. Jaws Unleashed. You get to be Jaws and attack people. How cool is that? So you go around swimming, you can eat fish, because you can't go hungry, you can't starve to death, but you can also attack boats and chew people up, and it is so much fun. Like, every once in a while, I mean, it's not a good game at all, but it's fun. Just go around, you can eat like seals and whales and stuff, and you can just, thrash back and forth. You can be sneaky and just swim under the surface and just pull them under. So it's really cool. If you see this for cheap, pick it up, because it's kind of fun. Next, a game I am kind of ashamed that I never ever played. Jak and Daxter. So Jak and Daxter is made by Naughty Dog, the same group that made Crash Bandicoot. And so I heard about this. This and Sly Cooper were games I had to play. It's similar to like your Ratchet and Clank type game. It's a lot of fun. I'm really excited to get more into it. I haven't played it much yet, but I've heard very good things. Next actually came from Lukey Games. First time I ever ordered from Lukey Games, but I thought I'd give them a shot. I got pretty good stuff from them, and most of the cases were in great shape. But there was one that was okay. So that's one thing that's kind of like, you can't really pick out the games and look at them ahead of time, so that's the only thing that sucks. But otherwise, I was pretty happy with the service. We got Dark Cloud. So Dark Cloud, I believe, was probably a hidden gem I heard about from Metal Jesus. It's an action RPG that you go into dungeons and have to rebuild this world because it was destroyed. And so you have to build this town, you get pieces to build it and stuff, and you can interact in the world in real time, which is pretty cool. There's a real-time weather system and day display system. I guess there's 6 playable team weapons. There's detailed weapon system. The one thing I really don't like about the weapons is they break. I hate that. I hate that weapons break. I know it adds to strategy, but no. This is a video game. I don't need realism. Okay, just give me a weapon. Let me keep using it. But it's kind of cool. It's got a map that you right in the corner of the screen. So as you find more pieces of the map, it shows up. It shows you where items are, where enemies are. So pretty fun game. And I think both this and the second one are pretty cheap, even complete in box. So definitely pick them up. Next, we'll go GameCube. This is another Lukey Games pickup. This is the other one that was kind of in rough shape. But it was Sonic Adventure DX, the Director's Cut. So Sonic Adventure is a game on the Dreamcast I've always wanted, but I never see it. So I figured, why not get this? Unfortunately, I've heard that this one is not as good as the original version. I kind of got lost right away after I beat the first level. Kind of hard to figure out where to go. But if I spend some more time with it, it might be fun. But let me know what you guys think about that game. Next, we'll go with some PS4 games. First one, The Girl and the Robot Deluxe Edition. So this is a game that just looked interesting to me. So probably like 6 months ago, I picked up Rhyme. And I really enjoyed that. And this game kind of looked like Rhyme to me. But I haven't had a chance to play it yet. The only thing I'm still mad at myself for, so I got this at GameStop, and it did not come with the soundtrack CD, so that was my fault. I had already paid while he was still getting the stuff, and he brought it out, and I looked, and the soundtrack was in there. I was like, hey, it comes with soundtrack, and obviously it's pre-owned, so it doesn't always have the stuff, everything included. And I already paid for it, so I'm like, fuck it. It was like $5, whatever, not a big deal. So I'll see if I can find a copy of it that has it, and then I can get rid of this. But interested to try that. We'll see. And next we've got Sonic Mania Plus. Oh my god, I'm so glad they made a physical version of this because I do not like digital copies. I like having physical copies I can display on my shelves, and so I had to pick this up. One of the coolest things about this is you can flip the cover over and it looks like an old school Genesis game. Like, that is freaking awesome. So as soon as I had that, as soon as I got the game, I flipped that over. But this is basically a love letter to the original Sonic games on the Sega Genesis. It plays like them, the music is great. Some of the levels start out with their original music and then they change to like a remix of it. But the first level is, what is it? Green Hill Zone from the original Sonic. And it starts out just like it, but then it changes a little bit. Second level is, what can I think? It's from the second game. Can't remember the name of it. But again, it starts just like it, and then it changes to a little bit updated version of it. But it's very cool. There's still the bonus rounds. You can, when you get, I believe, 25 rings and you get the checkpoint, the little stars swirl around it, you can jump into it, and then it is the bonus round from Super Mario, Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and Knuckles, where you have to clear all the blue balls out of there, as well as get rings. And if you get all the rings, you get a gold medal. So pretty cool there. And also on the stage, you can find these big rings, and when you jump into them, there's a little race. You got to keep up your ring count, as well as get faster so you can catch the guy with the Chaos Emerald. And the level just keeps looping and looping. Now the blue stuff, the blue balls that give you your speed, they keep regenerating, but the rings don't. So you can't spend a lot of time trying to catch up to this guy. You got to get there quickly so you don't run out of rings. But I absolutely love this game so much. Haven't played it too much yet, but so cool. Definitely highly suggest it. It also came out for the Nintendo Switch and probably the Xbox One. I'm not sure there. But PS4 is my favorite current gen console, so I had to pick it up on that. We'll go with the Xbox 360. So no gameplay footage for these. I just didn't have time. First game was in that box that my brother got me, and that is NBA Street Home Court. Don't know if it's a good game at all, but it is complete, so cool there. Then we've got Condemned 2, Bloodshot. Heard it's a fun horror game. Dead Space. I have Dead Space 2, so I had to pick this one up. Still missing Dead Space 3. Lost, the video game. I absolutely loved this show when it was on. I've watched it so many times. When I heard there was a video game, had to pick it up. And then Thief. So I got this game because it was the Steelbook. I actually have it downloaded on my Xbox 360 when it was one of the games for gold, but I love Steelbooks. They always look pretty cool, so pick that up. Next, we'll go with Switch games. I only got a few this time. First one actually is from Limited Run, the first game I've ever ordered from Limited Run, just because I'm not a huge fan of making a small amount of games, because then you have people who go up there, buy a couple of copies of it, and then scalp them, which is terrible for the hobby. But this one was Oceanhorn, Monster of the Uncharted Seas. This originally came out on Limited Run, did it for PS4 when I first found Limited Run. I wanted that, but you know, they sold out so quickly, and then they're super expensive on eBay. I'm like, no. So when I saw this, I'm like, yep, pre-ordered right away and got it. So basically, this is a Zelda clone, but not as good as Zelda. The gameplay's kind of slow, but you go around finding all these different islands of the Uncharted Seas, trying to find Oceanhorn, who has been terrorizing the seas. Your dad was killed by him. At least that's what they allude to. I don't know if that's true. And, you know, it's not linear. You have to go to certain islands and find certain things, so you can open things on other islands to continue on in your quest. But you can see, even on the front cover, he just looks like Link from Breath of the Wild, even. So, it's a solid game. Definitely check it out. Then another game we got was Owlboy. So Owlboy always looked interesting. So you go around as Otis, who's a mute owl, and you're always getting ripped on by your instructor about not doing things right and stuff. But then eventually go on your own adventure because pirates attack, and you have Geddy who goes around with you, and he can shoot. So you pick him up and you aim with one of the sticks, and then you can shoot. The shooting isn't great, just because I found myself, I'm trying to aim with it, but I'm also pressing the shoot button, and so sometimes that makes my thumb move. But I've heard really good things. Cygnus the Destroyer just did a video on this that he absolutely loved it, so I'm really excited to try it. There's puzzles, platforming, all that fun stuff. Very cool. Check it out. Then another game from probably my favorite publisher on the Switch so far, Nicholas. I think that's how you pronounce it. If I'm wrong, let me know. The Cave Story. So Cave Story is basically like an old retro game. You find yourself in these caves, you can get weapons, you can upgrade your weapons. I haven't gotten too far, so I'm not really sure what you're trying to do, but there's some boss fights. And it's really fun so far. Great platform, definitely Metroidvania type. There's a map system, which is awesome. And it also does come with, which I love, we got the instruction manual and a soundtrack CD. So I absolutely love how Nicholas has been doing that. So definitely another fun game. Definitely getting a decent Switch collection going. Nice guy to find time to play all these. Next, I went for the Wii. Now, this is a system I don't usually collect for too much, but I had watched a Metal Jesus Rocks Hidden Gems video a while ago, and I wrote down some games I was looking for, but I never really actually find them or look for them. And then he made another one, and so I added some to the list. I'm like, ooh, some of these look good. And so I went out game hunting and found quite a bit from my list. First one, Boom Blocks. Nice cheap game, but you go around and trying to destroy blocks in a certain amount of moves, and if you get it done, you get a gold medal versus a silver or a bronze. And some blocks blow up. Some blocks, when it hits another block of the same type, it blows up. So it's very cool, very cheap, and it's over 300 levels, which keeps you busy. So definitely find that cheap. I think I got it for $2. Try it out. Next, Gormiti, Lords of Nature. So you ground as 4 people who, when they go into this Gormiti universe, they come along as their Lords of Nature to save planet Earth. So you got Nick, Toby, Lucas, and Jessica. And so each of them is a lord of different. So one's Earth, one's Forest, one's Sea, and one's Air. And so you can collect certain things. Like if you see blue orbs and you collect it as the Lord of the Sea, you get more points for it. There's boss fights. You can change characters on the fly, and certain characters have to do certain objectives and have to press certain buttons, that kind of stuff. So it's a lot of fun. It looks kind of like a budget title, but it plays really well. Then the next are from Atlas and worked with the motion controls perfectly. We got Trauma Center Second Opinion and Trauma Center New Blood. So this, you go around as a new surgeon, and you start off by, they walk you through the different steps, and then you start doing more and more surgeries, and they get tougher, and it's just a lot of fun. I mean, like I said, it's perfect for the Wii motion controls. This is the type of game that this console was made for. It's very interesting. It's a lot of fun. You can do stitches, you can pull glass fragments out, you can reset bones, a lot of fun things. So I definitely suggest that you find these cheap. Both games are really fun. The footage I'm showing you is from the original game, but the second game plays just like that one. Next up, Sin and Punishment Star Successor. So this is an on-rail shooter where you go around and you can actually move yourself. It's not like you're in the same spot every time. You can fly, or you can stay on the ground. You can deflect shots back at the enemies. But it's really, really cool. And there's even a multiplier that you can get, which increases the fun of this game. But this was a sequel to the N64 Sin and Punishment, which I don't believe came out in the United States. I do remember back in college, I stopped by my buddy's room and he had a Wii and he was playing the original Sin and Punishment, and it looked really cool, but that he had downloaded for the Wii Virtual Console. So once I heard about this, had to pick it up. It is a lot of fun. Next, No More Heroes. So No More Heroes reminds me of Kill Bill, but instead of going out for revenge, you are the 11th rated assassin in the United Assassins Association, and you want to be number 1. So you go around killing the top 10 assassins, each one obviously getting tougher. But you fight a bunch of different enemies. How you hold the Wii remote, change where you attack or where you block. But it's really fun. It's gory. I think it's, again, a perfect game for the Wii. Definitely recommend it. And there's a second one also that I have not found yet. A Boy and His Blob. So this, basically, I think it's, I don't know if it's a remake of the original one or a sequel or what, but it's just like it. You go around with your blob and use different jelly beans to do different things, like making a ladder, make a balloon, make a hole in the ground that you can fall through. And one thing that I do like about this is you don't have a limited amount of jelly beans. I know in the NES version you did, but this one it seems like you have an unlimited amount. So it's really fun. It looks great. Definitely looking forward to get into this game a little more. Wario Land Shake It. I love the Wario Land game, so as soon as I saw this, I'm like, yep, gotta pick it up. And so when you grab coin bags, you shake the Wii remote to get as much coins you can. And there's collectibles in every level. It's your typical Wario Land game, so I figured I'd try this out for the Wii. So far, I'm not disappointed. Another game that actually set me out on the quest to find all these Wii games, in his latest Hidden Gems video, this one intrigued me quite a bit. It's a late release to the Wii console, so I haven't seen it at all. That is Pandora's Tower. You play as Aaron, and you need to help save Alina from turning into a monster. And the only way you can stop that is feeding her monster flesh. And so you go to the 13 towers and fight beasts to get their flesh to bring back to her to save her. And you're kind of guided by this weird, like, witch lady, and I'm kind of don't trust her, but I've only played it a little bit, so I'm not sure what's happening. But this is a fantastic game. It's going for about $30 now, complete in box. Obviously, it's not that expensive, but I can definitely see this type of game is just going to raise in price. Because it is a lot of fun, and like I said, it's a late release to the console, and those are the types of games that usually are hard to find. So definitely pick this up if you see it. It's funny, I went to 4 stores, the first 3 didn't have it, then I get to the last store, had 2 copies of it. So definitely check that out. Last, got a new console. So you know that last month I picked up Capcom Classics Volume 1 and Volume 2, one on the PS2, one on the Xbox, but I did not have an Xbox, and it was not backwards compatible on the Xbox 360. So I need to get an Xbox. And there it is. What happened was, I was at a game store getting some stuff, and I asked if he had an Xbox. He didn't, but he said, you know, I just saw one at Goodwill this morning, and it was for $25, came with 2 controllers, one of which was the Duke, which is freaking massive. Like, that controller's huge. I was like, okay, you know, provided it works, that's an awesome deal. Got home, plugged in, it works, and it even had a game inside. I think it was Shrek's Super Party or Shrek's Party, something like that. Nothing to write home about, but it's always cool to find a free game in there. So I had to start collecting for Xbox. So first game I got, Fable. So I've got Fable 2 and Fable 3 on the 360. This one is missing its manual, but I love the Fable series. They're so much fun, so I had to get the original. Then the best game, in my opinion, on the Xbox, Halo. This completely changed the way first-person shooters were played. The multiplayer was unbelievable. I remember back in high school, we would get a couple consoles, hook them up together, and have tournaments. We had blue team, we had red team. We traded people. Now, back then, I was terrible at Halo, and I was basically called a meat shield, and I remember I was traded once. And yeah, I deserved it, because I was absolutely terrible. I mean, there were times where I'd have the shotgun, and the guy would just backtrack and keep shooting at me, because obviously shotgun doesn't have a lot of range. But this is a great game. It's a lot of fun. And couldn't just stop at Halo 1, so I had to get Halo 2. So Halo 2 was out of the original 4, Halo 1 through Reach. This was the only one I hadn't actually played through and beat the campaign of. So I'm excited to do that. But just doing the game, recording gameplay for this, it's amazing how much better this one looks than the first one. Like, it's insane. But it's another great game. The multiplayer was even better. I kind of wish I could just get some friends over and play through this again on multiplayer. That would be excellent. Next up, another game from Lukey Games, Prince of Persia: Sands of Time. So I only had one Prince of Persia game, and I wanted to give more of them a shot. So this is a fun game. You know, you go around, and you can run along walls, you can run up walls, you can do some pretty fancy moves when you're fighting people. It's a pretty solid game. Definitely want to get more into that series. Then picked up Doom 3. So I absolutely love the Doom games, but I had never played Doom 3. Now I know not a lot of people love it compared to the other Dooms, but I thought it was pretty fun. The one thing that sucked was it was a little slow to get into. It took forever for the game to start. But once it did, like, I did not want to stop playing. I was recording gameplay. You know, I only need a few minutes to show you guys what it looks like. But I ended up playing for an hour. I was like, woo, I have way too much gameplay footage, but it's a lot of fun. Can't wait to try that out. And going along with Doom 3, we've got Doom 3, Resurrection of Evil. So I actually picked that one up first, not even realizing it. It was like the sequel to Doom 3. So I haven't played this one much. I played even less than the original one. But I'm excited to give it more of a shot. I didn't seem to enjoy it as much as the original Doom 3, but we'll see. Next game is a game I hear about all the time. It's super cheap, Crimson Skies. So Crimson Skies, you go around this airplane, fighting other enemies. You can do all these fancy moves, turn around quickly. You fight zeppelins, boats, planes, trades, hovercopters, all sorts of stuff. Lots of missions, and I think the game looks beautiful. So definitely glad I got that. I'm excited to put more time into it. And then the last game I picked up, so again, have no gameplay footage for it. Oddworld, Munch's Odyssey. So I actually love the Oddworld series. I love Abe's Exodus, the first one I had, and loved that game. So I bought the original one, Abe's Odyssey. And I was always disappointed. I was like, God, Munch's Odyssey. I'm never going to get that. I have an Xbox. Boom, got the Xbox. So this was high on my list. Picked it up. Can't wait to try it out. So there you go. Whew, I am sorry. That was quite a long pickups video. Longer probably than any other. So I got a ton this month. And like I said, no more of that. We're going to cut down definitely. But let me know what you think. What games here are good I definitely need to play soon. Or if there's any games similar to these that you think I should pick up, let me know. But until next time, thanks for watching. This is Captain Algebra, signing off.